because we believe in the fact that if military action is needed at certain points, and if police action is needed to control terrorists inside the country, ultimately ideas are defeated by ideas. And we have taken on this task, and with the blessings of the current and the previous president. Previous president was the Justice Adli Mansour, the head of our Constitutional Court, was the interim president, and the current President Sisi, and the Arab League. And our work was cited there. Now, this is a very major program that will involve a lot of programs, because I believe, and I told my colleagues, that this is the challenge of our times. We have to ask ourselves, why did our societies become such fertile ground for the emergence of extremism and violence? And with a self-critique for the intellectuals of the Arab world, starting with myself, we have to create an alliance that starts from that self-critique to confront the challenges of how do we reach the next generation so that they are not seduced by that terrible, terrible horror that is the so-called Islamic State or Qaeda or any of these movements. So let me present you perhaps what is going to be the most important set of activities that the library will be involved with. But I want to emphasize that this is in addition to everything else we are doing. So our activities in terms of the ballet classes and the book fairs and the lectures and all of that will continue. But we must have an organized response that brings forth the values we believe in, the values of pluralism, the values of freedom of expression, the values of human dignity, and to confront those who would deny such values. And in the end, you'll see that ideas are ultimately the most important thing. So without further ado, let me start. And I'll start with background questions. There is turmoil in the Muslim world, throughout the Muslim world, but also creeping elsewhere. And why a cultural response? Why Egypt? I mean, after all, I was delighted to see that the Nobel Committee gave our colleagues in Tunisia, the quartet, the Nobel Peace Prize this year, deservedly so. I'm on the jury of the Chirac Prize, and I'm happy we gave Amira Yahyaoui, a young lady working on NGOs, very young, the Chirac Prize also for having worked on the Constitution, bringing them together. But why Egypt? And then inside Egypt, why the BA? Well, let's answer the questions. First of all, we all follow the news, the horrible news. So those who can't bear to look should avert their eyes, but we need to be reminded of the enemy we have taken on. We need to be reminded of who we are fighting. So this, as you know, has been seditious in almost all the countries. The level of destruction is such that we have never seen in so many Arab countries simultaneously ever.